Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to check the Rekon 7 Pro, the latest and for now the biggest long-range quadcopter by KremerFPV. In this video I'm going to quickly go over its features and specs, give you my feedback after testing it for the last 2 weeks or so, and of course show you some flight footage. First of all, just like most of the other quadcopters by KremerFPV, which is, by the way, in case you're not aware of, is a result of a cooperation between Dave C, a very talented guy, and AGLRC. The Rekon 7 Pro is available in both analog and digital versions. In this video, I'm going to show you the analog version, which is bundled with the Caddx Rotel 2 and the AGLRC Zeus VTX, and the digital version is bundled with the Caddx/DJI Air Unit digital transmission system and the Caddx Polar camera. In addition, you can also purchase the frame separately, and both analog and digital versions are available with multiple radio receiver options, and I've got the one that comes with the TBS Crossfire diversity receiver. As for packaging, the Rekon 7 Pro comes inside a pretty big box, and inside, along with the quadcopter, you're getting some KremerFPV stickers, two 25 cm long KremerFPV branded battery velcro straps, some spare screws, the user manuals of the AGLRC M80 Pro GPS and F722 flight controller, an M4 screw and nut that will enable you to mount an action camera on the top of the quadcopter using this provided 3D printed TPU part, a single set of HQ Prop 7-inch propellers, and another set of Dalprop F7 V2 fold propellers, which are actually my favorite because they make the transportation of this quadcopter very simple, and also, according to my experience, they will provide you with a relatively smooth flight and they handle prop wash really well. As for its specs, the Rekon 7 Pro features KremerFPV branded 28 to 6.5 1250 kV motors, which are, according to my test, pretty efficient and will provide you with plenty of power, especially when powering the drone using 6S batteries. On the center of the frame, you can find the stack, which is based on a 48 amperes BLLES 4-in-1 ESC and an F7 flight controller, both of course manufactured by AGLRC. A 35 volts 1000 microfarad capacitor is pre-soldered to the battery pads and placed inside its own dedicated cutout. It's using an XT60 battery connector, and the battery is going to be mounted on the top plate. Inside the frame, mounted inside the 3D printed TPU part, you can find a self-powered buzzer. Its position is pretty much going to make sure that the buzzer is not going to be blocked, and once the main battery is going to be unplugged, the buzzer is going to start beeping and its onboard LED unit is going to start flashing, which in conjunction with the GPS unit is going to hopefully enable you to recover the drone in case of a crash. In my experience, you'll be able to hear the buzzer from approximately 50 meters depending on the environment, and each time that you are going to unplug a battery, it's going to be activated, so you'll need to press this button over here for about 3 seconds in order to disarm the buzzer. As I mentioned before, the analog version of the Rekon 7 Pro comes with the Caddx Rotel 2, a great FPV camera, and the AGLRC Zeus VTX, which I also have previously tested, and according to my experience, it is a very good video transmitter. It has a maximum output power of 800 milliwatts, it supports RC to RAN protocol, and it is using an M6 antenna connector, which is pre-connected to an SMA antenna connector on the back of the quadcopter. This antenna connector is mounted inside a 3D printed TPU part, which also holds the AGLRC M80 Pro GPS unit, which features a built-in compass that, by the way, is disabled on Betaflight due to some issues that they had, but in case you'd like to, you can use the Rekon 7 Pro with iNav. It also holds an Immortal T antenna, and the analog version of the Rekon 7 Pro also comes with the 15 cm long RCP version of the AGLRC Hammer antenna. Besides the Immortal T antenna on the back of the frame, you'll also be able to mount another antenna on the front using this adjustable mount, and in case you've got the version that comes with the Crossfire diversity receiver, 2 antennas are mounted on the drone, which is going to make sure that regardless of the orientation of the drone, you're going to have a better radio link, which in turn going to extend your radio range. As for the frame, its wheelbase is 324mm and it features a dead cat pattern, so the propellers are not going to appear in your FPV feed nor in your HD footage. The thickness of each replaceable carbon fiber arm is 6mm, its width is 10.5mm, it provides some protection to the motor, and it is secured between the middle and bottom plates using an M4 screw. The thickness of the bottom, middle, and top plates is 2mm. The frame supports both 30.5 by 30.5 and 20 by 20mm stacks, however only the latter are accessible from the bottom of the frame, as the 20 by 20mm mounting holes are blocked by the bottom plate. On the front side of the bottom plate, you can find some reinforcement that will hopefully reduce the chances of the frame breaking in case of a crash. On the back of the frame, you can find 20 by 20mm M2 mounting holes and 30.5 by 30.5mm M3 mounting holes for mounting the VTX. In addition, the frame features a pretty slim profile, so the distance between the middle and top plates is 20mm, and it also features a pretty big top plate, which will enable you to mount big batteries on the quadcopter. The width of the top plate is about 40.4mm, and the total length of the area where you'll be able to mount your battery is about 130mm. As for its weight, without a battery, the Rekon 7 Pro weighs about 528 grams. The next thing that I've done is to head outdoors and test the Rekon 7 Pro. Overall, after testing it out, I can tell you that its build quality and design are great, which is not surprising as this frame was designed by Dave C. It features high-quality components, including these powerful but yet efficient and not very loud, of course relatively, motors, and also the AGRC M80 GPS, which features a pretty big ceramic antenna. According to my experience, this GPS is very reliable and it got the GPS lock each time very fast. As for flight time and performance, I've tested the Rekon 7 Pro using different batteries, including this very big lithium-ion battery pack by ZOHD and my homemade 18650 and 21700 4S battery packs, and unfortunately these packs didn't work well with this quadcopter as the motors were just too demanding, so in order to achieve the maximum flight time, I would recommend to use a 6S lithium-ion battery pack, which according to Dave C should provide you with over 20 minutes of flight time. Unfortunately, I do not have this battery yet, but I plan to build one, so once I will acquire this battery, I'm going to test this quadcopter again and see how long and how far I can get. As for normal batteries, you shouldn't use 4S batteries because then the quadcopter is going to be underpowered, but according to my experience, 5S batteries are going to be okay, especially if you are not going to mount an action camera on the quadcopter, and for best enjoying the performance of this quadcopter, you should use 6S battery packs. I've used relatively small ones, so they only got me about 4 minutes of flight time, so in order to maximize your flight time, you should use bigger battery packs. Probably the best 6S batteries are going to be between 2000 to 3000 mAh. In addition, I've only tested the Rekon 7 Pro with the Runcam 5 Orange, which is a relatively light camera, but since it is a very powerful setup, it can handle a full-sized camera like the GoPro 9 without any problem. As a side note, I can tell you that currently I'm testing the Runcam 5 Orange again, since recently it got a new firmware update that exports the gyro data to a separate CSV file in addition to the flight footage, so it enables you to stabilize the footage in post-processing using the gyroflow software, so stay tuned for the upcoming video. Now, in case you're debating which one is the right long-range platform for you, in my opinion, out of the current options by KremerFPV, in case you just want to fly long range and you don't need to mount an action camera, the Rekon 4 is going to be a pretty good option. Just keep in mind that it won't be able to fight heavy winds. In case you need something more powerful and you would like to mount a lightweight action camera, the Rekon 5 is a good option. Then in turn, if you'd like to mount a full-sized action camera and you need something more powerful, the Rekon 6 is going to be a good option. And if you'd like to get the most powerful setup that will be able to fight heavy winds and also carry a full-sized action camera, the Rekon 7 is going to be the best option. And keep in mind that it also comes with the dual antenna setup, which is going to be especially useful in case you're going to use the Crossfire diversity receiver. Anyway, now I'm going to wrap up this video with some flight footage. And by the way, you can expect to see more of this quadcopter in upcoming videos because I've decided that it's going to be my new platform for testing long-range video transmitters. I hope you will enjoy the rest of this video, and as always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section down below. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you like this video, and consider subscribing to my channel and hitting the notifications bell if you're not already subscribed. See you in my next videos, and goodbye.